Welcome back to Newsday. Thanks for staying with us. Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world are Arise News analysts Emmanuel Efeni and Daisha Boale. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Cynthia. Good afternoon, Vembai. Good afternoon, Dayo.
Good afternoon.
As usual, we'll start with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, IMF backs CBN's tough monetary policy. Solicits robust cybersecurity framework. Hails economic reforms. Canvasses autonomy. Senate. Cybersecurity bill duly passed. Halt implementation. House ordered Apex Bank. NESG, Nigeria Economic Summit Group. Northern Elders Forum. Falana fault. Rejects idea. Timing. Dayo. IMF. Yes. The Bretton Woods institutions. Right. Giving a nod to the policies put in place by the Tinubu administration, the tough monetary policies.
So a great gift.
And but
gift.
They were also. It's also important to point out that yes, they talked about the administration scaling up the social protection to ensure that they minimize the impact of these tough policies on the citizenry. And so they are also concerned about the impact of these policies on the citizenry, not just but they also talked about the ongoing proposal, I think, to amend the CBN Act, that the independence, the autonomy of the CBN should not be tampered with because central banks all over the world, they have that autonomy that enables them to intervene in the economy with monetary policies and to subject that to political whims. It's also a very dangerous move for the economy and for the years ahead. You don't just look at what happened in the last 8 years when, you want to say the CBN governor intervened in a number of issues that are not necessarily monetary policies. But that in itself has to do with the president of the day, who was offish in a number of issues. Go on.
Let me pick issues with this IMF observation. One, they said the CBN was not autonomous. Cardoso has just come in now. What can be more autonomous than what FMLA did? As CBN governor, he wanted to contest to be president, and he was allowed. He was even more powerful than his president.
No, that was
literally. No,
that's not
don't
the
talk
manner
about.
of
If you talk
autonomy.
of autonomy, that is autonomy. You get it? A CBN governor.
Not
that's
in
it.
that light.
You can't remove. Autonomy is autonomy. He got even more powerful than his boss.
No,
that is one. No, that is on the side of autonomy. Secondly, this IMF praise
yes,
of
backing CBN's tough monetary policy.
Of our monetary policy that are bound to create hardship for our people. I'm very
temporarily, according to the government, temporarily.
Yes, you are making mockery of the government.
No, I'm not.
See, these things.
Let's put it in context. That's what the government has said.
These things have never.
There will be tough times, but the good times are on the way.
They have never been
Allegedly.
anywhere. You get me? That these policies of the IMF have been put in place and has been able to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor, or make life more comfortable for people. You see, IMF, Standard & Poor, Moody's rating, these are the agencies they use to measure people as if they are God. You get me? But they have never been beneficial to those who have taken loans from there.
Yes.
And those who have taken loans from there have never been able to pay back. And that the quality of life in those places have never improved. And they have always acknowledged it. But we always put a gun to the heads of people who borrow money from there.
Well, they don't force any country.
We should be very careful how we deal with them.
Well, they don't force any country to opt for their policies.
No,
but if you want,
they urge them to call.
No, if
when
the
payment is not forthcoming, They get, I worked in the bank before.
Yes.
If you don't pay your interest, it mounts up. After some time, you see about 10 times what you borrowed, what you pay. That
Look
is
at
what
Ghana,
they are
look
doing.
at
They don't
Zambia,
give
who
relief.
has to
They don't give
miss their
debt
payments.
relief, these people.
But that is the way this government has chosen.
That's right. And this is
Liberalization
government. But
of
you
the
can
economy.
talk. You should talk
Yes,
about
yeah,
it.
of course, we'll talk about it.
Government should be very wary the way it takes loans from the IMF.
Okay.
Go and look at our loan profile. It's like we are using almost everything we earn, almost 90% of our earnings to pay debt.
Well, for now,
You are still taking more.
the administration we have in place is very comfortable with the Bretton Woods institutions and their policy recommendations. They are recommendations. I don't agree with that. They put gun to anybody's head to implement their policies. There are countries that have said, no, we're not implementing.
Of course, you are not interested in the social effect of such policies.
No.
I'm saying that.
No, I'm saying that.
I'm interested in that.
No, I'm saying that they don't put gun to the head of any head of state.
This is my way of saying it.
Yes.
Okay. That's how I think.
Okay, let's look at the Guardian newspaper. How real estate firms, agencies fleece prospective property buyers, tenants. The big story, they call it in the Guardian. Well, these so-called agent property developers, some of them have a way of fleecing prospective customers and tenants and property buyers. So I think everybody should just read that story so that you don't fall victim.
It's an industry that should be regulated because there's a lot of money going there.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just come, all these estate agents, look at the house, I say 50 million, and even if they are going to sell it at 50 million, maybe they are going to sell it at 10. But you know they have already ballooned the rate. Nobody is regulating that.
Well,
No, but I know many property people who have most lawyers are in it now.
a number of lawyers. You won't say most. A number of lawyers. Many lawyers.
See, I say most lawyers.
And when you say most, it's like you have the statistics to say most.
No. What do you?
If you say many,
from my own experience,
many lawyers are involved.
I have many lawyer friends, and I hardly see anyone who is not in estate business now.
Okay. Let's look at the Vanguard newspaper, the lead story. Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway project not okayed by National Assembly. Procurement for probe. House of Representatives. Yes, ask ministers of Works, Finance, Justice, AGF to send all guarantees, credits, enhancement instrument to National Assembly. Right? Say project didn't get National Assembly approval.
And that's checks and balances.
Yes, okay. Is it that provisions were not? Is it that provisions were not made in the budget? So how are they funding it, right?
We will all witness that now. We will watch the spectacle.
Yes.
When
the National Assembly, look at it. At least at the National Assembly, the members will speak in the way village boys will understand, right? Exactly. So there will be no, I'm a village boy, I don't understand what you're asking, in your language, no.
It's the duty of the National Assembly to vet expenditure.
Yeah, so we'll we just keep watching brief on what the National Assembly will do there. Now, if we look at the Business Day newspaper of South Africa, big push to keep lights on. Presidency say 22 gigawatts of new private power is due to come online. They seem to be doing something right there, Vimbai. After the hiccups, the epileptic nature ESCOM became in South Africa, they seem to be doing something right. Months of no load shedding. Now they're talking of more gigawatts of electricity coming on stream.
Let's see how many gigawatts there are after elections.
Yeah.
I think let's just wait until the election before
you are tired of reading the election,
yes,
election promises.
This is Africa.
But at least they are not talking of band and tariff without improvement in power supply, right? As we hear in this climb. Now, if we just look at the Daily Nation of South Africa, the last newspaper will be taking 1.1 billion shillings bill for Ruto's advisors spending. The cost of maintaining a coterie of President Ruto's advisors will cross the 1 billion shilling mark. Does that sound familiar?
It sounds so familiar. Along with his bill for all his international travels, after vowing to cut down the fiscal expenditure, here we are seeing him splash out. That's William Ruto, and they're also having a cost of living crisis in Kenya. Mr. Feni, I don't know anymore. You know, sometimes you read these headlines about Africa and it seems like you could just lift them and put it in a different African country with different names and different currencies. I'm not sure why our government struggles so much with fiscal discipline. I don't understand it.
I think they just have to, because you look at the economies of a number of African countries, people suffering, then governance, where people should now deal with cost-cutting. They are extravagant with the people's commonwealth, and that's what we are saying.
Well, we'd like to thank you both for your review. As always, Mr. Emmanuel Feni, Mr. Dayo Shobwale, thank you both for your analysis.